Let's talk about it. 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 On the Vera Thomas Show. Let's talk about it. Yeah.
Hello, hello, hello. I am so excited, but I say that every week, don't I? I am excited. I'm excited about my guests. I have with me Chella Diaz. How are you, Miss Diaz? How you doing?
I'm doing wonderful. I am delighted to be here. I just looking forward to this.
I am looking forward to it as well. I am so thankful that you're here. And let me just share very briefly a little bit about you, and you're going to tell us more. But Chella has been a trailblazer since she was 8 years old. And I want to talk about that. She is on a mission to guide women entrepreneurs to change their value. So I'm going to give you the floor and let you share what how you were a trailblazer at the age of 8 and your story. We just want to hear your story. So I'm going to give you the floor.
I was one curious child, and when I was 8, and I remember this very vividly, my dad said that girls have to have long hair. Now remember, 8 years old. Something about that just didn't, even at 8, it just didn't feel right for me. So I went around the neighborhood. I did chores. I earned money. And one day when my dad got back from work, my hair was shorter. Now, the other side to this is that my mother was a housewife. She put the fear in me that, oh my God, your dad is going to be so upset. We're going to be in so much trouble, blah, blah, blah. Gotta tell you, it's a pleasant surprise because my dad said, you're one clever child. And if you're able to go out now, he's like, if you're able to go out and earn money to do this, maybe you need to start contributing to the household, right? It was a joke, but to me, right? So it's about building, right? When my mother was like, "Oh my God, you're gonna be in so much trouble," my dad was like, "You know what? You're so clever." So I was very clever and I was very curious at a very young age. 8, right? That's my and 9. Let's take it to 1 year later. So 9 years old, I used to go to the farmers market and I knew how much money to get from the money jar in the kitchen, which was plastic. And I knew how much money I was going to need based on what was on my list. 9 years old, I could do that, right? So money was something that just made sense to me. You want something, right? So I purchased my first car when I was 17 and my first house when I was 23.
Woo! That's wonderful. That's amazing. So tell me, what influence and impact did your parents have on you having such an entrepreneurial spirit?
Well, my dad always had a full-time job, but then he also had a business on the side. So my dad always had something that was going on the side, right? So, and he was also owned quite a bit of property as well, right? So there was always, and I didn't know this before, but right, talk about multiple sources of income, right? You always, it's not just about, yes, you're 9 to 5, but then, my dad was a baker, and so he baked on the side, and that was his own money. And then, of course, he also had rental property. So it was it was a really great. But also, let's talk about, my dad is phenomenal. My mom was a housewife, so she did work obviously at home. However, she didn't go out and earned her own money. But the one, and this is why I am passionate about what I do, is one limiting belief that I grew up with is you have to work hard for your money. right? Because my dad was a baker, and then even on the others, right? It was physical work that he did. He also did, he did construction, so he did a lot of stuff, but it was all physical. So the very first time when I went out and I got paid $500 to go do some workshops at a high school.
Oh
500
my, to do workshops at a high school?
to work, yes, to do workshops at a high school because one of the things that I've been doing for over 20 years is doing financial literacy for high school students, high school and college students. But this one
Okay.
a paid workshop, right? So $500, my whole body, right? So thank goodness, surround yourself with people that are going to support you and guide you because my whole body was like, oh, I'm just going to stand in front of the classroom and talk about something that I know, something that I've been doing since I was 9 years old. That went against what I grew up listening to my dad, that you have to work hard. Right.
Wow.
So so I invite your listeners to think about, right? And that is your number one. My number one tip is, what was the money conversations you listened to as a child? Because that has an impact on our current financial picture.
What was the money conversations?
What was the money conversations you listened to as a child? And it doesn't have to be necessarily for parents. But what did you listen to, right? Was it parents? Was it adults? Was it at church? Was it in the playground? What were the money conversations adults were having about money?
And that's a very interesting question because oftentimes in the minority family, money was not the most important thing, and it wasn't taught the way it is in other groups. I mean, I have friends and I know people who have had their children read Rich Dad, Poor Dad at an early age to understand the influence of money and to have that mindset about money. And when you grow up without that kind of mindset, it really truly impacts on you. I'm an example. It
What
really,
and this is why I'm passionate about going into the high schools, because yes, this is about money, but it's also one of the exercises that I have the students do is, I said, this is high school students, right? I said, okay, what are you doing to give back? And they're all going to say, I've never had this, and I've been doing this for over 20 years. They always say, well, we don't have a job, so we can't give back. That's where we need to change that, because I bring to their attention is money. You can give time. You can take your neighbor's trash out. You can go to
yeah.
the grocery store for somebody. You can babysit. You can go to the library and read books for somebody. You can, there's so many things that you can do that don't require money. It's just time.
And, and so learning to do that at an early age, that's one thing I can say. My son, that was one of the things that I was involved in volunteer stuff. So he had to be involved as well. But it builds character. And it also allows you to be more empathetic and compassionate about other people when you can, in fact, give of your time no matter what age you are. I mean, little kids give of their time in so many different ways. And so, what you're saying is so important. And parents, please listen. Allow your children to volunteer. If you are a volunteer yourself, take them with you so that they can understand the importance of giving back. And it's true, the more you give, the more you get. And so it's very important that you do that.
I
Do you have any siblings?
I do. Well, I have two sons, and with my sons, I remember they were probably 5 and 8, and I took them to a Special Olympics, and 5 and 7. So the 5-year old was like, "Well, what are we going to do?" Right? Thinking, I'm a 5-year. What can I do? But when we got there, Special Olympics, what they helped the kids do, right? And this was so powerful because I still remember he helped the kid carry his hot dog and chips to the to sit, because this was at a track field, and he helped him open up the ketchup, little packet of ketchup, right? And to him, it was that aha moment for him that he, even at 5 years old, could do something for somebody else,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
So it's
And when you allow kids to do that, they just puff up with confidence and self and they're so proud because they did something different. They did something for someone else.
so let's
That
talk
is
about money, parents, because we're here to talk about, okay, this is like, what does this have to do with, and we're going to move into how can you increase your fees. But the one thing, if you're a parent, and I know, Vera, you definitely work with parents. If you're a parent and you want to teach your kids about money, and you want them not to, as a bonus is they will not be picky eaters, have your kids plan a meal. I
you
don't care
know
what it
what?
is. I don't care what it is. Plan a meal.
That is so awesome. And also, if they gravitate towards cooking or they like to cook, let them cook with you in the kitchen. I remember I used to drive Uber and Lyft, and I remember, and I always, always talk to people about what their lives and that kind of stuff. And so I had a mother, father, and son in the car. The little boy was about 7, 8. And my question is, what do you want to be when you grow up? Right. And he said, a chef. And so I asked his mother, I was like, well, are you allowing him to be in the kitchen with you, to cook with you? And she said, no. And I said, you might want to start doing that. If this is what he wants to do, then give him the opportunity to begin to experience that. And so it's very important for parents to recognize the gifts and talents that their children have because it may well become their career or their passion and their purpose. All right. So, anyway, go ahead.
Well, no, when you do that, right, and also teaches them time management. Let's say that they want to make lasagna, right? Well, we can't just say we're going to make lasagna. That takes time preparation. We're going to go shop for the ingredients, right? Then we're going to have to cook the pasta. We're going to all the other ingredients, right? So, but also on top of that, they're going to know because when they did this, they paid for their own groceries. I gave them the money, but they paid, right? So it's also them having that transaction because now they're like, you get these items, and then now we're gonna go home and we're gonna cook them, right? It's time management because you cannot just get home and say, "Oh, I'm gonna do this tonight." Oh no, well, what if you don't have the ingredients? Right? So it teaches them times management. It also teaches them, okay, how much does it cost to put a meal on the table? That's huge, right? And if you want to do this for a bonus, next time you're at the grocery store, ladies and gentlemen, next time you're at the grocery store, watch how adults talk to kids. And this is going to this is going to be a $5,000 tip, because let's say that we're at the store and you watch it. I just want you to watch because obviously we can't really tell somebody else how to raise their children. But it's, and Vera said this, right? The kids that are reading Rich Dad, Poor Dad is the language we see. Let's say that this kid wants this toy. Of course, they're going to put it at the front as we're checking out, right? There's all these attractions. Let's say that the kid wants it. What if instead of saying we can't afford it, we say, great, let's figure out how we can get that.
I love it.
Make them part of the decision making.
Yes, that is so important. When you allow kids to be a part of the decision making process, not only in a grocery store, but at home. If you've got activities or things that you're planning to do for the family, engage your kids with that. And even though you may not do what it is that they want to do, they will feel important because you've included them in that process. Whenever you're making family decisions, include your children. Even though again, you may not do what they want to do, That you may not even agree with what they say, but at least you've empowered them to critically think and to also feel empowered that you've allowed them to be a part of the decision making process. That is so important.
And which brings me to, right, as a child, even though I was curious, even though I was really curious and I wanted to learn things, I also did not feel that as a child my voice counted or my opinions mattered.
Well, don't you think that that's how most kids feel anyway?
I guess to
Un-
a point they do, but to me, that led me to what I do now because when I guide women entrepreneurs to increase their fees, it's about undoing the programming that we received. The girls are not good with numbers, or the girls don't know how. No, right? It's just that. But by me, so to me, it just guided me to what I do now. And I want everybody to have their voice. I want everybody to use their voice. And when you increase your price, that's exactly what you're saying. I am value this, right? I am worth this. But also, there's a bigger right because as women, when we go out and we make more money, what are we going to do? We're going to support our community nonprofit. We're going to go out and give to anything, right? We're going to give, whether it's money or whether it's time. So to me, and we're teachers. Nothing wrong with men. Listen, I have two phenomenal sons, but when it comes to teaching, right, women by far are more out, right? We invest the time to go out and show and teach somebody else. So when you do that, that's what you're doing, right? You're for me is you're speaking your voice, you're saying your truth, and you're saying, yes, all these years of experience I am worth whatever that amount is, right? It
yes.
doesn't.
Yes, and so and for some, as a matter of fact, I'm going through a training right now talking about monetizing and increasing your prices based on your worth and your value and what's important in that to you. And
Yep.
so a lot of times we feel things like, well, people aren't going to pay that or anything like that. But one of the points that was made, when you increase your value and your prices, then people are more prone to purchase because of that.
And it could also absolutely, totally agree with you. And it could also mean that when you get ready to increase that fee, that means that you're moving from the kiddie pool into the adult pool. It
Yes.
means that you may need to fish in a different pond. That's all, right? Maybe the people that you're currently hanging out with cannot. They don't see the value. They don't see how they're going to pay you. Well, that's great. That means we need to go out and we need to find a new tribe. We need to hang out somewhere different where the people are ready to give you their credit card, the bank account, however they're going to give you money, because they value. And also, the one thing, ladies, free. Listen, I did this plenty of times and I still do workshops and I don't charge. I go into the school. I'm part of three nonprofits and I do a lot of volunteer work. But this is me doing volunteer work with a nonprofit, which that's what their purpose is. Right. So I still do that. That's not what I'm saying at all. However, the people that pay attention.
I
Because
love that. I'm putting that in the chat. People that pay attention. I love it.
the more they pay, the more attention they pay. So that's why you want to charge your value. I know there's a lot of coaches out there that say, okay, you can double, you can triple it. It doesn't matter what that is. What matters is that price point, that you're in alignment with that, right?
Yes.
Think of it as speaking your truth, speaking your story, whatever that is, and knowing that you bring so much value to the table. your experience. And whether you're a mom or you're not a mom, listen, as parents, I believe this is my own personal opinion, as being a parent prepared me to be a phenomenal coach,
Oh, yes.
right? Because
Yes.
let's face it, I was definitely the mom. I was very involved with the PTA. Of course, I was in charge of fundraising. Of course, I was in charge of the cakewalk. I can still remember all that, right? Not only that, but of course, the yearbook. I had to be part of that. And a full-time job, I was very involved, and I always took time, at least 2 nights a week, sometimes one, but at least once a week, I went out and I played paddle tennis, right? Because that gave me time for me
For
to recharge,
yourself.
right?
And
So it's absolutely doable. Looking back, I cannot believe I did all that I did. I don't know that I could do that today, but right, it's skills
oh, yes.
that brings, right, because that prepares you for so much.
Absolutely. Were you a single mother?
No, no, no. I
Okay.
wasn't. I got divorced when my kids were 14 and 17. But even then, and my kids will tell you, we did an amazing job co-parenting.
That's
We
wonderful.
still showed up to the football games, into the basketball games, into the swimming, into all of that. We still people didn't know we were divorced because they always saw us. We celebrated the kids' birthdays together. So
And
no,
that's how it should be. Just because a marriage does not work does not mean that either of you are really bad people. It just means that you are not good together. So, co parenting is so important. I know my brother raised his 4 children as a single dad, but their mother was right there in terms of being supportive and encouraging, and people did think that they were still together when they weren't. But that's important because you're showing your kids how you can get along even if you're not together. Such an important lesson for children to learn.
and again, we go back, right? It's about all of these things, is especially when you go to the grocery store and you hear the parents, you can't afford it, we can't have that, we don't have money for that, right? It's not what you're saying to them, is what that kid is walking away with, right? We don't know what that's going to do to them. So our words are valuable. So just like you said, find a way to get them involved into the decisions. Have them, maybe it's like, you know what, you can do some additional chores. You can go out and read a book. My big thing was they had to write a report. When I was in the corporate world, and the kids, my at the office, people used to make fun of me because whatever they got themselves in trouble, I said, great. They would call me when they got home. They were walking distance from home. And I said, great. I understand there was something happened to school. I want you to write a report on that, and I'll be home when, right? So they can't, the people at the office, like, really? They're having to write a report because it gives them time to think about, right?
Yes.
It's not just, no, it gives you really time to think. I'm not suggesting
Yes.
that that's what you do, but find ways to get creative. So if they want something, whatever it is, find them, they can do additional chores. They can read a book. They can go help a neighbor. They can do whatever it is to earn that money to get whatever. I can tell you that 80% of the time when my kids did that, I said, yes, you save 50%, I'll put the other 50%. As they're saving, it teaches them, right, that you need to wait, right? It's not that instant gratification, but 80% of the time they change their mind. They're like, oh no, we don't want that anymore, right? Because it was cute, adorable at the beginning, but then it's like, no, no. And then move on to other things. But at least it had a decision in the process.
Yeah, and you said a key thing about teaching them to save. That is important because so oftentimes adults as well as kids, they get money and it's gone. It's gone. People don't think about saving anything. In fact, studies have shown, that the majority of our country don't have a savings. A majority of our country are living paycheck to paycheck. And so they're not saving. They don't have enough to even cover one paycheck.
Yep, I saw the movie. Actually, there is a movie. It's called Paycheck to Paycheck.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah, there is. Maria Shriver did it many many moons ago, and I attended the premiere, and it was they look into what that is, but and I'm not saying that you having your kids prepare a meal is going to teach them to make necessarily save money, but they're going to see the value of money. So when they go out, should they go out and do their own business, they have an appreciation for money, both to invest and to save.
Yes. Absolutely. I love it. I love it. I love it. So tell our audience what it is that you do in your coaching business.
I am passionate about guiding service based women entrepreneurs to increase their fees and enroll new clients. Now, men, I do work with men one on one. But the groups are for women only because I want to create a safe space for women to talk about money without, and I'm not saying men are at fault here. I don't believe in fault and I don't believe in blame. I don't. But when you bring women together, were we able to have that honest one on one conversation? So that's what I do. I guide them so that they're able to identify and release whatever money drama from their childhood they're carrying.
That's very interesting. I know that you've even given me some tips and some ideas of things that I can do, and I really appreciate it. I need more tips. I'll be honest. I'll be honest. But
And I think this is why it's so perfect that we're doing this today, right? Because you and I met a while back, and then we've been back and forth. We've had a couple of different conversations. Is that the first tip that we're going to give you, because we want your listeners to go out and do something, is what was the money conversations you listened to? And then you write
right.
them down, whatever that is, and you write them down, right? You don't have to write a Bible. You can just write down, you can put pictures, whatever it is. And then step two is, what were the lessons, right? What were the lessons? Because everything has a lesson. What were the lessons that were learned? Because once you identify, that's connecting the dots. So for me, I mentioned you have to work hard for your money. That's what I grew up, you know, and then having to go out and, getting paid to speak. How is that hard work? It went against everything that I had listened to as a child.
And the thing is, it wasn't hard work for you because it was a part of your passion. It was a part of what you do. And when you're working and living and moving in your purpose and your passion, it's not hard work. You may have to put in a lot of time, you may have to put in a lot of hours, but you enjoy doing that because it's a part of what you do. And so that's a valid point that you're making.
And so that would be the first thing, is like, what was that? But then what are you going to do to shift it? So now that we know what the lessons was, whatever those words, and write them down. I like to write them down. But then I want you to write a letter to money. Think of money as that person that you used to hang out together when you were in middle school, when you were in elementary school, I don't know, where you think of that person, and then life happens and you went in separate directions. Think of money as just that. It doesn't matter how much money is in your account. That's what's beautiful about this. All we're doing is we're reconnecting, we're shifting your money relationship. Write a letter to money. Dear money, tell it, and I'm going to use the F word here, put as much feelings as possible, right?
Thank you. You had me nervous there for a minute when you
Use as many feelings into this. What are you going to do with money? What experiences do you want to have? Right? Write this letter to money. So right now, the record that I have is 2 hours. After I attended, I did a talk at a mastermind. The person wrote the letters. Within 2 hours, she received money.
I need
One
to do
person,
that tonight.
one person, one person. This was really funny. We had She did the letters. She did all of that. We did a session. She was a client, and then she was going to meet up a friend for lunch. The friend said, "You know what? I know we're supposed to work together. Here's a check. I don't know what we're going to do, but here's the money. Right. It's like, right. Because when you do that, you're writing these letters, whether you believe this or not. I say, trust the process. I've been doing this for over 20 years. What do you have to lose? But
Absolutely.
if you do get money in, we want to know about it. Because
Okay.
think of these letters that you're writing. Think of it as you have a plate and it's packed with food, and you're taking the food, and it's all really delicious food, right? But you're taking some of the stuff that you're like, well, do I really need that? You taking some, so you're making space in your on your plate for new things to show up. That's what writing the letters do for you.
Okay, now for those who may feel stuck and they're saying, "How do I even start writing a letter to money?" Can you give us a
Yeah,
like a start?
absolutely.
Okay,
Dear
dear
money,
money.
dear money. It's been a while since we hung out together. Dear money, I cannot wait to spend time with you when we go to Hawaii. Dear money, I cannot wait until we go and we have this much in my bank account. I cannot wait to see that statement with you sitting, whatever that amount is for you, right? I cannot wait to have that zero balance on that credit card. I cannot wait to pay off my car. Tell it all. Give it
Cannot
a
wait
destination, right?
to.
You're writing a letter to a friend that you haven't seen, but you know how we have those friends where we don't talk very often, but every time you do, it's like you nothing, no time has lapsed,
Right,
right?
absolutely, yes.
Well, money is the same way,
I
right?
love it.
You just hit, it's like, oh, it's been a while. What can we do to change that? What can we do to for us to hang out together again?
I love that. And this is the first time that I'm hearing this. I will be writing a letter to money tonight.
There's something that happens when you write it, and if it's shorter than 2 hours, I want to know, right? Because I want to be able to share this. But once you become aware, because
Yeah.
some of us, I'm not going to say how long. I carry some mother baggage, raising my hand right here, and you know that it's there, but you're so comfortable with it because one of my coaches, like, Chella, you have. I said, yeah, and he said, "Are you ready to let go?" I said, "Nope, nope, not ready." Right. So it's okay if you're not ready, but just having the tools that are going to allow you to get there. Right. So, I remember one workshop that I did, and this young lady, she was investing over $300 a month on makeup. Now, I'm not a big makeup person, so
You
that's
don't
not
need
my.
to be.
I'm more into live music events. That's a whole different scenario. But and she said, I'm not going to give that up. I said, I'm not suggesting you give it up because I never want to take something away from you until you're ready to do it, right? So this is not about forcing anything. And so I said, you don't have to. I said, but when you're ready, you'll know what you need to do in order to make that happen, right? So it's about having the tools and knowing that they're going to be there once you're ready.
I
So I
love it.
cannot wait to hear what you're going to do.
Trust me, I will be letting you know. I'm writing that letter today,
And this stuff
tonight.
works. It works, and it works very quickly, right?
Okay.
It's hard to it just does. I mean, like one of my most recent clients, after our first session, she went out and she enrolled 3 new clients, and her clients, it's 2,500 a piece, right? So she was able to bring in 75. I don't promise those results. I don't. But once you're open and once you become aware and once you let go of the money drama, I call it money
Okay.
drama.
Now let me ask you this.
Ah,
Should it be, can you type it out, dear
no,
money?
no,
Okay, you gotta
no.
write it.
You gotta write it. I know. Let me go into the woo woo space. For me, this is the best way I can explain it to you. You take in all this monkey chatter that's in your mind, you're allowing it to flow through your arm, you're putting it on paper, and you're letting it go.
Okay, I love it.
Typing
I
doesn't have the
love
same, right? So
it.
no,
Okay.
it's a written letter. It's good old fashioned. And listen, I carry a notebook. People make fun of me. How I choose my purses, let's get a little real here. How I choose my purses is it has to be big enough for me to fit in the 8x11 notebook. That's how
Oh,
I choose
that's
my purses.
awesome. That's awesome. Well, listen, we need to take a break right quick and we'll be right back. This is great stuff. Great stuff. If you are listening, tell other people to please join in. We're on several platforms right now, and I've got some exciting news that's happening that I'm so excited. But anyway, I'll talk about that when I come back.
As a business pro, you know the way to make real money is to have a big, qualified audience listen carefully to your every word. Step up and speak at the Global Awaken Trinity Summit, and that's exactly what you'll have. It's a 4-day event aimed exclusively at those who want to make their business, any business, take off, grow, and thrive. The best will be teaching and inspiring, and you should be one of them. From marketing tool secrets to the best ways to build relationships and make connections. Founder Kessa Gooden is putting on this once-in-a-lifetime event, the Global Awaken Trinity Summit VIP Gala and Yacht Mastermind. Registration starts at 9 sharp each day, February 29th through March 3rd, 2024 in Miami, Florida. To speak or for tickets, call 404-992-3971. Spaces are filling up, so call now. 404-992-3971. Or visit us online at globalawakenedevents.com, and we will see you there. For real, take your business, any business, to the next level by joining us at the Global Awaken Trinity Summit. 4 days of opportunities and inside info you don't want to miss, as over 35 celebrity speakers will be live in person to teach you exactly how to make your business take off, grow, and thrive. From marketing tool secrets to the best ways to build relationships, partnerships, and make true connections. Founder Kessa Gooden is putting on this once-in-a-lifetime event, the Global Awaken Trinity Summit VIP Gala and Yacht Mastermind, February 29th through March 3rd, 2024 in Miami, Florida. Registration starts at 9 sharp each day. Bring your business partner, your team, your friends, anyone and everyone who wants real success. For tickets, call 404-992-3971. Tickets will not last, so call now. 404-992-3971. Or visit us online at globalawakenedevents.com, and we will see you there.
If you are a speaker and you want more exposure and you want to be on a yacht, you want to check out this Global Awaken event. Be a speaker or even register. I put the link in the chat, so click on the link and register or investigate how you can be a speaker. Or you can call Kessie at 404-992-3971 and tell her you heard it on the Vera Thomas Show. All right. Now, back to what we were talking about. I love. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say back to the money drama.
Yes, money drama. Yes. So tell us more. Tell us more.
Well, I think that would be one of the things, because once you become aware that what the money drama was, that's going to allow you. But if you have a service, and to me, it doesn't matter how long you've been in business. If you've been told that your fees are too low, if you've been told it's time for you to increase your fees, this is going to be your $5,000 tip. Make a list of what your clients say to you after they work with you. That's going to be very telling, because when you make this list, and one of my clients, the list was a little bit over 100 things that, now they've been doing this for a long time, so it's a while. But make a list. And if you're saying, well, I don't have any paying clients, if you're getting ready to launch your business, you're doing that for a reason. So it tells me that you've already helped people.
Yes. That's a valid point, because just because you may not have the business right this minute, or you may not even have clients, but you have helped people and you know that you have, go back to them and
Go
get
back
them
to
to, go
wait,
ahead.
wait, and also go back to them because you want to get a testimonial, you want to get a LinkedIn recommendation, but also list what they said. What did you save them time? Did you save them money? What did you do? That what was the benefit? What was the transformation? Because when you begin to see, and this is an ongoing list, when you begin to see this list grow, and I'm just going to use this as an example. Let's say that you have a 5 session package and is $500. I'm speaking from experience because that's once upon a time, 10, many moons ago, that was my price. But when you see this list of transformation and you're like, oh my God, this is all they're saying, and my fee is only $500. Something happens when you see those two things come together, right? Because then you something in within you begins to like, oh no, we need to increase our fees, right? So make a list of what your clients are saying, whether paid or not, where you did pro bono, that's a fine. Make a list because that's going to help you because you're going to see it, right? Because when you begin to see this list, something happens within us. Like, oh, I'm doing all that work and they're getting all these benefits and the fee is $500, right? So I
Yes.
the other reason why I believe, is because I've been in the shoes. When I first started, we're just gonna say over 10 years ago, my fee was $119 per session. Then I moved that to 5 sessions for 550, right? And I thought that was big. And what I did when I was initial, and I'm saying this in case someone out there is in the shoes. When you do one session for 119, you're like, oh my God, they're gonna fall in love, they're gonna see the transformation, they're going to want to sign up for more. I hate to burst your bubble. But the one person that comes to you and they're only one to do one session, they're looking for a magic pill. They're looking for you to solve all of their problems they've been having for over 20 years
In
in
one hour.
one in one session. In one session. So that's why that doesn't work, right? So after the 550, the fee went to 1100, 2100, 3500, 7500, and now I have a package that's 15,000, right?
Whoa.
Aha! From 119 though, right? I say this. I've been there, right? And if I can do it, and this is what I've learned along the way. Listen, I've worked with a lot of coaches along the way. I really truly have. I've been very fortunate. But once you're there, think of a rubber band. So once you go from 119 to, we'll just say 7,500, which is my favorite package, you can never go back to 119. But what's different is that now that you're doing the 7,500, it allows you the time. Now you have the fun. Now maybe you're able to make a bigger check to your favorite nonprofit or to your community, whatever that is. Right. So, but and absolutely, are you going to do some pro bono work? Absolutely. Only after you enroll people at the higher fees. It's
That's amazing. That is amazing. And we have to get past the thought of people not wanting what we want have at that price, because we are devaluing ourselves, our experience, and what we bring to the table. And we all need to understand that. And sometimes that's hard to grasp. And that may be because of lack of confidence in not your ability, but in confidence in um, having people pay that money. But like you said earlier, get out of the kiddie pool and into the pond.
Let's go into the adult pool, right? Enough of the
Yeah,
kiddie pool, right? And that's
yeah,
all there is, right? People in the kiddie pool may not be able to pay what you're asking, and then that's okay. But you will find people that are ready to pay you when you jump into the adult pool.
yes. Well,
Let's
it's
get into the adult pool.
yes, and let me encourage you to contact her And I'm going, okay, I got to go back to the banners. Okay, you want to contact Chella Diaz, and you can contact her on LinkedIn. And let's talk about LinkedIn there for a minute because you are a LinkedIn guru. And I know that for a fact. So let's talk about what are some tips that you can give people that are on LinkedIn. And also, if you are a business and you are not on LinkedIn, you're missing out.
LinkedIn is a gold mine. So LinkedIn has been a one of the pillars. My program has 5 pillars. Yes,
Okay.
we identify and release the money drama, and then the other pillar is LinkedIn. I also do networking with you because there's a science to that. This coming from a woman that used to attend 20 networking events a month. I don't do that anymore. However, I still have the experience with it. So on LinkedIn, one, it's a gold mine because there's so many things that you can do on LinkedIn. But one, if you're going to start making comments on other people's posts, that comment needs to be at least 6 words. Now, LinkedIn says 5, I say 6. So, totally transparent. LinkedIn says on their guidelines must be at least. So, when you make a comment of great post, nice job, good to see you, don't waste.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. There you go. Don't waste your time because it's not doing anything for you and it's not doing anything for the other person.
But what does it do when you do use
The
more
6 words,
than
because that picks up, that is picked up by LinkedIn. So the next thing you're going to do is the first 8 words under your name. Now, this is a personal preference. The founder of blah blah blah. Who cares?
so the first you said the first eight
Eight
words under
words
your name?
under your name, right? So the first 8 words, that's what people are going to see when you make a comment that's at least 6 words. What is that going to tell them? Right? Because founder doesn't tell me anything. How are you helping people? If you look at mine, I said guiding women entrepreneurs to,
Yes.
right? Because now this is magic. Because now, if people see what you do and if they're interested, that's how you're going to get them to go and check out your profile.
Okay.
So, underneath your name, those are really, really key to have what you do, how, not what you do, that doesn't matter. How you help people. I help men do what? I help you release weight what, right? Tell me what you do because that's what people are going to see in the first 6 seconds when they see your
That is
comment.
okay. That's some valuable information. Yes, it is. And so, listen, people, if you've missed this, you really need to catch the replay because this is valuable information. And again, if you are an entrepreneur, a coach, a speaker, or a trainer, and you are not on LinkedIn, you are missing out. Okay,
Gold
so we
mine.
got that. Let's
LinkedIn just celebrated 20 years. Gold mine. And if you're not currently taking advantage of the LinkedIn audio rooms, jump on board. Ride the wave with us. LinkedIn audio rooms are the place to be.
and you
Because,
know what? Okay, go ahead.
well, if you have the title, right, I can teach you how to increase your fees, blah, blah, blah. You get those people into the room. Yes, there's going to be a percentage of people there that are going to be there because they want to sell you something. So let's not count that. But you're getting people in there and you are able to bring people on stage to ask questions.
Yes. And you know what? And the thing is, like I'm new to doing audios on LinkedIn, and mine I did one, and then the other ones did not. I don't know what the problem was, but they didn't happen. But they were scheduled, but they didn't happen. So maybe I need your help with that as well. So okay, let me put your link back up. And I can't believe we've only got 10 minutes left, and I do have another commercial that I've got to play. So
Let's do
let
the
me,
commercial.
yes,
Stay tuned.
Yes, stay tuned. Let me do this commercial here. Um, okay, there we go.
Mama Knows creates high quality products that are available to be used on multiple textures of hair. Her goal is to bridge the gap to stop people from having to use multiple products because of families with multiple hair types. Her products are currently being used on men, women, children of all ethnicities. Mama Knows products are available at www.mamaknowsproducts.com. That's www.mamaknowsproducts.com. You can also find her on Instagram at Mama Knows Products because Mama knows what you need.
Mama knows what you need. And let me tell you, these products are awesome. They smell great, and you're talking shampoos, conditioners, moisturizers, hair serums, and just a whole number of products. If you want to thicken your hair or to grow your hair, then you want to check out Mama Knows because Mama knows what you need. So go to mamaknowsproducts.com. Okay. And I must let me do this. Go to mine. Okay. Oh, I'm having a problem trying to. Oh, okay. I want to
Let me
do this.
introduce you to ChatBridge. It's a revolutionary new solution for getting great results from your online networking. Today, online networking has become the standard for millions of professionals. However, getting results from your meetings can be a daunting task. But now that challenge has been solved. Everyone knows how hard virtual meeting follow-up is. You go to an online meeting where at the end, people say save the chat to follow up. And now you have a nearly unusable and ugly chat text file to work with. You can now say goodbye to the hassles of downloaded Zoom-type chat records. For the first time, with the introduction of this new ChatBridge tool, you have a simple system to easily import, search, review, follow up, and find opportunities with the people you meet in all of your virtual networking meetings. And we also made it easy to archive all of your chat files and information on the people you met networking for future use. And it doesn't stop there. With ChatBridge, when you select people to follow up with, you can view their exact posts and even click into their website, LinkedIn profile, or Facebook page if they shared it. Then you can import your selected contacts into the powerful EngagePro system or export your contacts to your CRM, email tool, or autoresponder. Following up and getting great results from online networking is now easy and just a click away. Experience the power of the new ChatBridge, and you'll quickly see how to find new clients, get more referrals, speaking opportunities, and JV partners. There's nothing like it. Find out now how economical and easy it is to get the results you want from online networking at chatbridgeconnect.com.
Then go into chatbridgeconnect.com. Go to bity.ly/chatbridgevt. You will get a free test run by doing that. Let me tell you, ChatBridge is amazing. If you go to networking meetings, clicking, saving the chat, and then uploading it into ChatBridge, and with one click, it is organized with the names, the links, the phone numbers, the chat, the comments that were made. It is amazing. So go to bit.ly/chatbridgevt and get the free test run and see how it works. It's amazing. All right. Well, we've got 5 minutes, and what I want to do, I want you to give us some more nuggets. And And let me ask you, what was it that drove you to this passion? What, and I know it's a passion for you. I know it is. So what drove you to have this passion to the extent that you do? And then the wealth of knowledge that you bring into what you do.
Initially I thought I wanted to build and publish my book, which I did. Financial literacy is Money Bootcamp, financial literacy for teens. And I started doing the workshops, right? I was an involved mom, PTA. And then I was asked to do that workshop for women. And it was women in transition, women that were living, whether it was, a battered home, whether it was drugs, that were in transition to somewhere. And I started doing the workshops for them. And that's when I found out for me is that when I teach women, I'm doing two things. I'm empowering, guiding them, but I'm also giving them the tools to teach the children. Not that I'm giving up, because I still do, right? But that's when for me, I started making the bigger difference. And the first few clients, to me, it was all about, finding your money leaks. But then after a while, women were simply making more money after they worked with me. And it took a while, right? So that's why now I start with that. I guide you to increase your fees. We can figure everything else. The guidance, the power that I bring, that's over $300,000 invested on coaches.
Wow.
LinkedIn alone, I invested over $15,000 recently as of this recording.
Which is another point, and the point is you want to continue to learn, continue to grow, and it takes money to make money. In order to build and be all that you can be, you may need, chances are you will need a coach. And you may need a coach in different areas, because one coach may not fit the bill for everything. She had a coach for LinkedIn. She had a coach for something else. And it takes money to make money. So understand that. Speaking of which, let me, because we're getting ready to shut things down, but I want you to support me by, oh man, I just pulled it. Okay, oh my goodness. I accidentally went to the link myself. That's not what I meant to do. Listen, you can support me I am excited because I am now on Pandora as well as Amazon, iHeart, and Spotify, and a couple other platforms. But soon, and within the next few months, I will be on Sirius XM. I am excited about that, let me tell you. And so I would like for you to please support me by going to actually, you can go to my bit.ly and check out what I'm doing. And there is a link for you to support my show, as well as check out the other links that I'm on. And also, oh, the cyberbullying. I want to share with you, we have YouTube creators who are bullied so badly that many of them have contemplated suicide because bullies have been threatening them, their families, their lives. And this has got to stop. This has got to stop. So I'm putting this link in the chat so that you can please sign this petition, comment, and share. The purpose is, and the intent is, to get at least 100,000 signatures. And what I'm doing with those signatures, we're taking them to Congress. And we're also taking them to YouTube and to Google, because they're not doing enough to stop this. They're not. So the link is in the chat. By all means, please sign, comment, and share. Okay. Chella, it has been a pleasure having you here, and there was so much more I needed to say, but we've ran out of time, and so I would like for you to hold on while we close up. Do you have any final words that you want to add before
Go out.
we
We've shared a lot of good tips. Go out and take an action.
yes, take
One action.
action. Take action. And listen, we will see you on Thursday. So have a great remaining week. And I will talk to you as soon as we get off here.
The Vera Thomas Show. The Vera Thomas Show. The Vera Thomas Show. The Vera Thomas Show. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Let's talk